the exact same weight for both of these two schemes. Again, the whole purpose for their moves were to beat one another. Now it's just who has the last word. It's Karachi Hardpoint. Lower finals. Let's get it out.
Both these teams been top 4 all season long. We're trying to put ourselves in a position to be top 2 on the end of the year. It's already into this P1. Toronto Ultras is trying to hold their ground, and Scrap dominating through top 3. Now you hop in the hill.
Absolutely the case. Inside also making sure no one sneaks over to the middle of the map. Skies will be deleted. And extra information here that New York are going to try to play this through top side red. So Scrap still alerted. Kleenex looking to hit a route, and the timing here could be beautiful. Finds Hydra for the first. May have known that Kismet was down low, and then immediately comes back over to the gunfight. Kleenex for a double.
And Kleenex is the guy that I really want to put a lot of focus on, because I feel like when you're watching Toronto Ultra all throughout this weekend, there's been players individually having their moments, but Kleenex, when he is on point, Toronto Ultra basically impossible to take down. And already at this P1, 30 uncontested seconds. Kleenex trying to hit the route. Subliners are spawning all the way across the map. Flawless beginnings.
There is still an opportunity for Sib to possibly play a little bit of spoiler here over towards the jump up, and he will find one. Kismet with a trade, can't quite get away to keep his life, so we're getting a 50-50 battle right over the top of the hard point. Sky seen at range. Scrap, nades all over the top of this New York play. Opening shots are good, but trade is in. New York still battling, and Skies may have turned the fight completely. One more player to find, and well, Kleenex at the back door, not going to be able to do too much.
Now what can Envoy do? Because he's snuck behind enemy lines. He finds that spawn kill onto Hydra. Now he's just waiting for his teammates to get a little closer to this HP before he strikes. But thankfully, they find a couple kills. Now the only player in the hard point is going to be Skies. He falls, and this is not the ideal situation you want to be in if you're the subliners. With only 20 seconds left, the spawn is still out.
And I know the observing team is sitting on Hydra because he had a slow series versus Optic. He's off to an 0-6 start here against Toronto. Not what we've often seen. A lot of the focus has been on this guy. What can Kismet provide? But Hydra's been ice cold so far.
Yeah, 1.4 hardpoint KD. 0-6 is not the start that you want. Now you are forced to find a break in towards Peter with Ultra fully set up. Skies finds that first kill though. So you're going to make this a little bit chaotic towards the back end, but Envoy is able to get the better of Kismet. The spawns are going to be flipped, but it's a free pinch for Kleenex.
And it's just the ARs left. The SMGs are just not finding the same success that we often assume, and Hydra's just diving in through garage trying to force timings. This does not feel like the same New York that we saw earlier on the weekend. The ARs are providing what they can, but Hydra's 0-7, and the crowd's starting to know about it.
Yeah, you're just not going to win. Hydra's not having success, but trades go back and forth. Kismet with that double is able to lead to the break. It's a lot of time to fight for Kismet on 3 in a row. And now the Toronto spawns all the way across the map with only 20 seconds left. You want to try to fight this because you know P4 is scrappy.
Now Kleenex, that silence, try to get around the play. Sib shuts it down, pops up looking for more, pushes Scrap off. 10 seconds remaining. And considering the fact that Hydra is still not loaded into the map, being down 10 points feels like a miracle right now for New York.
Yeah, you would take that. Finally, he's able to get on the board. He switches to the MCW. Now you find yourself in a position to potentially contest early on for this rotation. You do have Envoy playing slow towards the backside of Build Truck. The spawns are going to be there for Ultra, but Hydra was just trying to find the right moment to strike.
Sometimes you just got to switch the loadout. Find some way to get locked in. But Toronto off the bounce back, 3 straight kills. Looking for Skies at range, but he does at least confirm 1 trade. Follow-up from Toronto still. Congesting this hit from New York to fully have to be through the shops, and Toronto are feasting on that.
Yeah, 30 seconds still to fight for if you are Toronto Ultra. You're gonna be late off that rotation, but all this time play a big part in that final score. Now with only 20 seconds left, you got Hydra in a position to potentially contest this all the way to the very end. He's able to catch a double, trying to stay alive, but Kleenex is able to locate him. And even better with the MCW, he finds a double.
They're still out, knows he's got other contestants nearby, and we'll find a little bit of a battle with Skies. Pistol, though, will finish the job. New York now down again, right around that 40-point threshold, but rotation starting to look decent. Scrap putting a little bit of enforcement over the top of the hard point, keeps New York out for now, but still the spawns are decent for the subline.
Yeah, the spawns are still going to be secured for New York. Now, if you are Ultra, how are you going to decide to break on in? Have Kleenex approaching towards top 3. Envoy trying to assist him through the middle of the map. They're trying to pinch out these spawns.
Envoy is going to be able to hold off at least 1 player off the spawn. That was Hydra. So now it's just down to the last 2 members inside the hill. Make it just down to Kismet. Deals with the first around the back, knows he's got New York players on the way, but they're so far away, and Toronto will secure the break. Just a 4-for-1 exchange, and they're going to get past the 100-point mark.
And that only took 1 opportunity right there from Ultra. Subline is starting to look like they did back at Major 3, where they can rotate, but that setup instantly gets broken, and now game is starting to get away from you. You can't fight for this final 15. You have to set up around these power positions. Hydra trying to hold down top 3, but he just jumps on that child versus Scrap. Don't understand that one.
It's just one of those things that feels like he's trying to play the MCW right now like he would have a Rival 9 in hand. It's just not quite finding the same amount of success. So with full scrap time, goes the way of Ultra. New York set up for now inside the new hill, but Toronto are fully surrounding him. You got a full surround envelop of what could happen on this hill. Just comes down to can they find the kills. Opening exchange, decent though for New York, and they do deal with the Toronto hit.
Yeah, Scrap is going to fall on 5 in a row, so no cruise missiles to work with, but Kleenex still finessing around this red area, forcing the repositionings out of Sid. Eventually he is able to strike, and that might lead to a break for Ultra. They have the numbers and the power positions, just got to get in the help.
Yeah, Sid able to get control. Topside found now on 3 in a row. Insight going to try to hold him back just a little while longer as Ultra, like you mentioned, jump into the hard point, start earning more time. The lead back up to 50 points. Hydra looking to hit a route. Rival 9 back in hand for him. Just having a hard time tracking up players. That's not to any of his own fault. Sib's been able to find 2.
Yeah, Sib's on 5 in a row. Can he pick up this cruise missile? Play a big part on potential comeback. He's able to find it. Bernetti runs out of ammo, so Scrap gets the better of him. Right now, Ultra have blown this game wide open. You are forcing the subliners early off this rotation to new where they need to have a full 6.
Big pick. Able to track down Kleenex is massive towards keeping the middle of the map safe. And also make sure that you don't have to use the cruise missile right now. You can save that for a more emergency type situation. Ultra starting to amass their setup from the front. All about what direction they try to hit. And there's a 3-man surround coming on the backside of red.
Insight is going to fall through bottom ticket. Now the rest of Ultra trying to attack through the middle of the map. Hydra's able to find another one. They are just swarming the players on the side of Ultra. That's all 3 dead in the feed. And now this is where you start to get aggressive because Ultra have a couple players spawning across the map.
Every 1v1 over towards Junk could be a massive one for both teams. New York still holding into the scrap time very comfortably as Toronto are fully focused on rotation. Hydra will try to put himself in between the 2 halves of this Toronto squad, with Scrap just try to do what he can to get a couple exit kills. Not going to work out, and now New York can fully focus on the rotation.
And that's going to be a difficult play right there because Scrap, he commits towards that old hard point. He's still going to spawn all the way across the map, so it's going to be a 3v3 gunfight for this rotation. Insight's able to get the better of Sid. Hydra on 3 in a row, just trying to at least get a couple team shots in to make this one easier, but they have full jump control. You gotta hold.
Yeah, Insight is spawning way out of the picture, so now every kill is an important one for Toronto as New York start to put together a break attempt. Just one more left inside the hard point. It's Kleenex. Contests it for a moment. Hydra now on 5 in a row. Really starting to heat up. Wanted the pistol for a moment, but Kismet does at least provide enough damage to secure the kill. Around the back, Toronto still fighting. A little 50-50 battle over the last 30 seconds.
This is Mixie to close out the ending of this P3. Right now, Ultra in control, but Sky trying to be a nuisance. Can he find this kill? No, he does not. And now if you are Toronto, you can put all your focus over towards the junkyard because you are in control of Chicken Coop. So you are forcing the sublines to still try to commit this, but you would want that back if you are New York. You found the initial kills, just put it trade effect.
And really, Sid is doing everything in his power to keep his team into the game right now. 21-16, that says a little bit, but more importantly, he's found a lot of these kills to get the break, the extra step forward. So again, you need to see something more convincing early from these SMGs, especially as we start to rotate from 4 to 5.
Yeah, and it's a 50-point game. You are Ultra, you can soak up a little bit of this time because the spawns for subliners all the way across the map, but right now they're fighting their way through Fountain. Hydra gets the better of Kleenex. Sib also finds onto Envoy. That leads to 3 dead, and the spawns do flip, so now it's New York's turn. Soak up as much time as you can.
And you've even got Hydra already hitting an early route over towards P5. Ultra taking their time on this approach. 1v1 here. Hydra beats it to the punch. The second shot's clean, but not good enough to take care of Insight. So Toronto will stabilize on this side of the map, but New York happy to see that lead get dug into little by little.
Just continuously soaking up this hill time. Ultra have to try to contest this all the way to the very end, but New York have fought their way back into this game. 20-point difference. Let's go to a listen-in with New York.
We can spot, guys.
RG, where'd you go?
I'm top fire now.
RG.
Top 3 right now. There's one against 2, one against 2, squad against 2, squad against 2.
Only good scrap spawns out.
Nothing back right. Check your dump.
Squad
Squad to the top. Squad to the top. I don't see him.
Next there. Only scrap.
Jump our weak. Come on, behind me. One square, scrap. Yeah, there's 2 there. They spawn there. Jump car after them.
Say left. I'm shaking.
RG.
Yo, come top bed. I'm shaking.
I'm top.
Okay, yo, one close left, 10, and one back.
Yo, only back left. Yeah, push through. Only guys.
Kill the bottom.
Yeah, go. Nice, good shit.
Bottom on you, one. You kill the guy bottom? He's square. Gonna be square.
Watch fire pitch. Watch fire pitch. Get time. Square next to. I'm one shot here. Do you have time? Square deal.
Yeah, watch your top pitch.
You can pitch.
Get up.
Yeah.
I
can't get time.
He's go square. Weak. I'm staying down. Guard. P5.
To there. Yeah.
P5 classic. P5.
To the back.
Stay down. Nice. There's one P3. I'm behind you. I'm leaving you.
Not the P3. I don't see anything. Market, one shot. Yo, two P3. There's two small P3 in market. One P3 in market.
One bridge on me.
Scrapping up.
Absolutely perfect timing on the cruise missile. You heard it in the comms, and not only did they get the value out of that, but Kismet's one off of earning another one.
And can Kismet find this? Activate, be the game breaker in this closing moments. As now Ultra take the lead right on back, but Subliners learn from their mistake in their last series. They invest that cruise for that break at P5. And they brought this game all the way back, but now with 40 seconds still to fight for here at P1, you see the route being hit by Skies. How is he going to time this?
Kismet tries to catch one by surprise, but Insight deals with it very swiftly. Skies deals with the Toronto member onto the hard point. Following up his scrap though. New York now need to be very cautious.
Yes.
You don't want to lose this hard point all the way through this last 20, but you also cannot lose P2, and they're going to force the gunfights right on the top of Rebel.
Yeah, and if you are inside, let's start to move. Let's start to work this overextension, potentially flip the spawns on the subliners, but Envoy, he's able to find a double, so this is where you have to hit that go button. Ultra going to get closer and closer to that 250-point mark.
And Sid, who's been really, again, carrying the weight for New York, spawns way out of the picture. So someone else is going to have to step up with Toronto swarming around the outsides of the hill. New York jumping immediately. Chance to get to 200 points, sure. But do they get a read on how this ultra hit is starting to develop? 2 over the jump, 2 from the front.
So far, New York are holding. Sib, who spawns all the way across the map, is able to fly back into the engagements and catch a double, but this is not the ideal situation you want to be in if you are Ultra. Those back dumpster spawns, you see the way that Scrap is playing. He's just playing for the cutoffs, waiting for now the collapse to come in.
Well, here they go. Contest is on. 235 plays 213. Shots through the door. Pistol off for Scrap. Dealt with by Kismet, who cannot turn it quite into the double. Envoy, who's weak, able to at least help out as Kleenex. Able to take Skies out of the picture. Chance for Ultra to win here. New York trying to set up their last break attempt. Can they get here in time, though? Envoy for the first, but a team name comes through. New York have to sprint to get onto the hard point. Insight shuts him down from the front. One more player contesting up top. It's Hydra. Would be a time for him to pop off, but it's not going to happen. And Ultra take map 1.
Toronto were just a better team from start to finish of that map number 1.
Yeah.
A slow start from the subliners, more specifically in Hydra. He was able to pick it up as the game went on. When you're up by 60 points, you dominated that P1 the way that you did. You kept the game scattered at certain moments. With that much of a lead, all it takes is one opportunity. And even with Sip finding that double, the spawns being flipped from Ultra, the way that Scrap was able to play it through bottom ticket was absolutely phenomenal. You play for the cutoffs right off the rip, you wait for the teammates to get closer to that HP, and then the collapse was good enough to take map 1.
Map manipulation. Absolutely the key words, I would say, in all of that, just due to the fact that Toronto, like you mentioned, were able to manipulate spawns the way they wanted to. A lot of it coming through the pivot points at mid-map, especially from 4 to 5. New York give themselves a tool in terms of the cruise missile helping them get back into the game, but I think you're absolutely right. Categorizing this entire map, Toronto just quicker to finding success on rotation.
And it was everyone that had a big part in it. Envoy clutching up in certain moments, Kleenex finessing around, especially early on into that game, and then Scrap just dominating with that AR. You even heard it when we went into the listening. They're thinking that Scrap spawns all the way across the map, but he is blessed with that spawn on the backside of P3, so they had the numbers advantage still in their favor. They traded out effectively, they withstand that cruise missile coming in, and if you were New York at the ending of that P5, how do you allow Toronto Ultra to break through the back with the gun?
Yeah, that's the real key, right? And, you know, there's also elements to think when it comes down to the fact that Hydra's not able to get as fluid and as motion on the map that we're used to seeing. It starts obviously early. The 0-9 start is not something we often see, but I think that is a big a part of the reason why from 4 to 5, they kind of struggle because he pulls out the MCW for 4 and sometimes gets caught with it still in hand when they get to 5. So this is not the same zoning that we're used to seeing out of New York in this map.
Like the little mistakes as well, because even that moment where you had Hydra with that MCW, win that gunfight towards top 3, and then he just jumps off of that power position to challenge Scrap. You could just tell that New York weren't really in sync on that map number 1. And more specifically in Hydra, but now you are forced to bounce back in this Search and Destroy, which has been your backbone even more versus this squad in Toronto Ultra, because you have players like Hydra and players like Sip who just take over in that mode.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the numbers nerds are going to sit there and say Ultra was meant to win that map. It was the one that they've dominated against New York in the times that they've played it. But at least for Toronto, they find their first map win versus New York on land, and it comes in relatively comfortable form. A couple of moments there at the end, the start get a little bit tighter thanks to the cruise missile, as we've already mentioned. But now is where the series, I feel like, really starts. Where, again, map 2 to map 5, it feels like both of these two squads are going to be happy to see them. I think the big key here, though, is that Toronto, again, like you said at the top of the show, undefeated in Search and Destroy on the weekend. So a huge ask for New York to find a rebuttal here on map 2.
You even saw it in that last series, withstanding insane wall bangs coming in out of Jodeci's. They were still able to walk away with it. It's because they have SMG players who are able to be playmakers. And so far in this matchup, historically, Kleenex and Envoy do not have a good time going up against Hydra.
Yeah.
He is the king of first bloods versus his Ultra squad.
The other side of this, looking a little bit further forward to the Highrise Control. Both teams love this map, but they've never played it against each other, which is weird to say considering that they've played a handful of times against one another, and both have really utilized Control to great success across playing other top 4 teams in their history.
And what were we talking about before the series started? Whenever Toronto Ultra take the Control, they never lose a series, so they have to have that one circled, because they prep all throughout Major 4, preparing for a High-Rise Control. For the first time, you're going to square up against the Subliners, who are the only team to take down teams like Atlanta FaZe, hand them their first couple of losses. So that's going to be an absolute square up where we get there. But this Search and Destroy is got to be massive for the Subliners, because you need something to stand on, some kind of momentum to try to continue forward.
Yeah, and for Ultra, you know, there are questions about what happens on this Karachi Search and Destroy. They haven't played it a lot, and obviously the numbers on screen don't really build a lot of confidence for you. It's just the simple fact that so far this weekend, they have yet to lose a Search and Destroy. But in terms of how this map should go, New York will feel better about seeing it in the pool than Toronto will, largely because of those numbers.
Yeah, and it's due to the fact that Hydra, the KD is a 2.8
ridiculous
in this matchup.
Yeah,
that is insane stuff. So if you are Hydra, we know on a map like Karachi, where SMGs are going to be dominating around that mid-map, you can put yourself in positions where you can be that island player going for late flanks, but you always on the defensive side have to make sure you're putting yourself in a position to always contest that B-bomb, because it's so difficult to retake.
And speaking of retakes, something that we've seen from New York throughout the weekend is their ability to work through some difficult retakes has been largely pretty solid for them. But this is a different squad that finds them on the other side of the screen, because Kleenex and Champs has been lights out in the Search and Destroy, 1.57 KD. And he's good for a kill around, so you know what you're getting out of Kleenex.
Yeah, the opening dual win percentage, though, is insane. 69% of the time, he is finding that first blood. I know we said it historically between these two teams. He is sitting at a 0.6 overall KD in Search and Destroy. But everything can change here.
Yeah, absolutely the case. No trophies here, so we'll see how much actual pace is going to be put on by either team. Lots of nades thrown from New York over towards this B market. Will keep Toronto a little bit further back. Some question marks will arise because of that in terms of how far forward is that New York defense.
Because they were hoping that the nade gets a little bit of information to keep them set up over at this B site. You can just tell on the minimap the Skies is a little bit hesitant. And they are playing super safe on the backside of B. Kismet's gonna get caught off guard, and that's Kleenex striking early on with that first blood.
Yeah, you can see it in the player cam as well. Kismet just gives up the angle, and he's immediately sitting there saying, oh, if I would have just held that an extra fraction of a second. But now New York's defense going to be really stretched, even though it is a 3v3. Lots of things to worry about over towards the A site, but instead they're going to try to reclaim mid by getting a little aggressive here.
And this is Envoy just being the playmaker.
Yeah.
He's keeping all the subliners on this side of the map. So Ultra are going to get a free bomb plant over towards A, and how much time on New York now going to invest to try to locate where Envoy went?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to decide to isolate him, you've got to commit with a couple of numbers. Instead, they're just going to forget about him, and instead try to play for the quick retake up the middle. Inside, well, he sees a lot of it, but not able to find any kills. So now Kleenex, he's really far away with the Rival 9 at the moment. He's going to wait for Envoy to be the first one to move from the flank. Smoke is out. Envoy to check. No one's on the bomb, and Envoy holds his position a little while longer. Oh my! How does Hydra get both?
That's just an unreal play right there out of the subliners, man. First blood goes in favor of Kleenex. They instantly find the trade, even late off the rotation at that site. Just a beautiful heads-up play to completely disregard Envoy in the back of the spawn. Isolate the last two players that are playing around that site. And Hydra already off to a perfect start, 3-0.
I mean, the read through the smoke at the end, unreal stuff. This one right in front of him, but to immediately pop in center. Oof. Because that was exactly the case. Envoy needed to make the first move. When he clears the bomb, you start to think new life in this Toronto post plant. But not when Hydra's still up, apparently. And he needs that. We need to see some smiles on him after that first map start.
We know what that young man is capable of. Already off to the hot start. Can he continue on? Got to get that trophy system down to keep him alive towards the middle of the map. Hydra's going to take already that positioning in towards Fountain.
I don't think he's been seen either, or maybe he has. To say Insight was playing backside sandbags. And the player down low, yeah, he's able to push him off, but it doesn't make much of a difference. And now you've all of a sudden got Kismet pushed up a little bit. Bomb not here through this smoke, but the kills are, and New York will enjoy a 4v2 setup.
Bomb is yet to get planted. They are playing for the kills. They have the info on both of the players, but Sib with that bomb in hand, unfortunately, is going to fall. So you are giving opportunities now to Ultra in the 2v3 to try to clutch on up.
And Kleenex may do the dirty work here. If he finds good timing, yeah, he's able to scout out Skies, who's just kind of lingering to say, hey, stay interested in me over here while the bomb gets collected and we rotate this thing back over safely to B.
And this should be a lock-up post-plant situation for New York. You had the man advantage, that bridge control. You're already pushed out towards their spawn. Now 40 seconds to work with, scrapping Kleenex, splitting up, or trying to at least put themselves in individual gunfights.
This is such a tough post plant to break down. Kismet's going to be just purely responsible to make sure no one goes up top AC. Okay, moments there, but Sky's able to find the kill. And now Kleenex, yeah, from the top side of the house, not able to do anything from there. So really good stuff from New York. And once again, Hydra getting involved early.
I can't believe the route that Hydra hit too.
Yeah, that was
you
ridiculous.
Jump into Fountain, that's all gravy. But then he jumps out, puts his back towards the opponent's spawn at that B site, but he's able to stay alive. So they find the first blood. Kismet puts himself in a great position for the second. And even though it was delayed plant, numbers and the setup too strong.
This has been a perfect start for New York. Everything you want to see. Battling back after a first blood, sure. But more importantly, their ability to stay cool, especially that first defense in a 3v3 where they very well could have been stretched out and isolated, but instead, fighting with some great resiliency. And now an opportunity for Hydra and Kismet to possibly show some aggression. Yeah, over towards the A side of the map. Just waiting up on this kind of high-low setup to see if anyone crosses.
Right now, Ultra playing super safe in the back of their spawn. Making sure that they're watching the pinch, watching that middle map push, because they know that Hydra and Kismet love to get aggressive up on the map, but it seems that the play is going to be over towards B. Sib is the only one on this side of the map. Toronto Ultra take bridge control. But Insight's going to have his hands full on this flank.
But he's not really watching for this cross. He's watching over the middle of the map. For him to find one is perfectly fine. Bomb not planted, though, through that smoke. So now you're down to 42 seconds. The element of cover is pretty much gone. Sib is seen behind the trucks, and Scrap will eventually take him down. Sib looking for an off angle, doesn't work out.
Yeah, I don't understand that reach out there out of Sib. Now put your team at a man disadvantage, and you already gained the info onto Kismet. So if you are Kleenex, give up that deep pinch. We have to try to work this objective.
Can anyone stop this plant from happening? Doesn't look like it. 3v2 post plant. I mean, this is one of those things, man. It's champs weekend. We're starting to see how paper mache these maps really are. But now the question for New York, how do you work through this post plan? And with Kismet dropping, the answer very well may be that you just don't.
There 1v3 left to Skies. He is on 3 in a row. So how hard is he going to commit on this round? He finds that kill onto Kleenex. He's just going to back away, play the streak for the next.
Yep. Okay, so a little bit of an anticlimactic finish here, but for Ultra, moments of kind of diciness. Ooh, kill number 5 gets tallied, all right. But to say for Ultra, I mean, that smoke play doesn't really allow you to plant simply due to the fact that New York double hit the flank, so new things for them to think about next time they're on offense.
The good thing for them is that Insight on that flank was able to at least find one before dropping. Because now you put Kleenex in a position still trying to play for Kismet, but then Sig gives them a freebie at that fire trucks to keep them in the man advantage. And at the same time, you were also able to gain that info onto Kiz. So Ultra finally put one on the board on the back of that first blood. Just need to have an answer here on defense.
Big player to watch for right here is Skies. Nades over the top for New York. Trophies also placed very early down to make sure that this offense stays safe through market. Skies has been tagged up towards the staircase. Envoy, MCW in hand. Through the smoke, only able to find one. Very quick response from New York, and the flank now also been known. This could lead to a quick plant here.
Skies is on 5 in a row. So how aggressive these decides to play this angle, able to put down shots onto inside. He already gained the imp onto CleanX that he was behind us.
Oh,
Subliners are going to isolate onto inside. Skies earns that cruise.
this has been great from New York. And it's not getting any worse anytime soon, especially with CleanX having to try to navigate a 1v3. Nothing over the top of the bomb, as New York are just kind of waiting to see if they can get him on a trap rotation.
3v1, you want to try to get this objective down, and CleanX trying to put himself in the perfect situation to read where the play is coming in, but not able to secure any of those kills. Subliner secure the round. Even after getting picked off early on, numbers advantage still strong.
And the cruise missile. And now a huge lead starts to amass on the scoreboard. Everything, again, looking good for New York here. And a couple of breadsticks right now for the side of Toronto. They're just not finding the opening success that we've often seen them have, and that could be part of the reason why we just haven't seen them play this map all that often.
Yeah, the defensive adjustments have to come in for Ultra. Even with Envoy finding that first blood, him being the only one in that position, there was no one to play for a trade. So now the subliners go back towards the defensive side. You have Sib taking control of the bridge, and that's going to be B, gone.
Yeah, pretty much. Although Sib in a little bit of pressure. Envoy has snuck forward for a moment, but doesn't like the look of it, so backs off. And now the focus has to go back over towards A. Bomb making a play early. Kismet playing topside single, and he's just looking to see if anyone crosses through mid. So now all of a sudden the bomb's implanted under his nose. CleanX seems to have been made aware that Kismet was nearby. And that will be enough for Envoy to come through, find the kill. Sky's also in trouble, topside AC. And yeah, this New York is just completely congested. They did not expect this hit whatsoever.
Yeah, big gunfight win across the map as well. Out of inside, beating the island player onto Sid. Now Hydra and Skies now all up to Hydra in a 1v4. With 20 seconds left, he's got his bus pass, but it's not going nowhere.
Okay, a crucial round right there for Toronto. I think a lot of it is just Kismet has been getting beat up on that opening angle. He's been really the sole trusted player over towards bus side, so he plays safe and he gets caught.
But it was the early strategy out of Ultra that kept him in that position, because once the smoke, a couple attacks get invested over towards B, they had a triple stack on that side of the map. I don't know what it was from the other two players on the side of Ultra being completely silent, because Kismet jumped from that bus all the way to that top window, but couldn't get any sound cues that where the play was coming in. And once that bomb goes down and then Kismet falls, everybody else just late off that rotation. So Ultra secure the round. 2 so far on the attack. Back to the defensive side they go, where they're making the adjustments. It's now CleanX turn to hit that hop up.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to do this with the rival 9 now. Cruise missile going to get called in, so this is going to be a UAV to know that someone's up top. No isolation as of yet. CleanX knows there's trouble on the way. Sib, taken down to about a single bullet worth of health, but able to get the regen. Stun, not also landing at the moment. Door just providing the only cover for both these two players. Pops the door again, and CleanX wins the first 1v1. New York find themselves in a bit of tricky spot here with a 3v3. Kismet looking for a plant.
Yeah, when you invest the cruise missile, you were looking for these rounds to be guaranteed, but still in the 3v3. You have Hydra playing in towards top mid secret. Envoy has a player right in front of him, but little does he know. Now with only 35 seconds left, Ultra are watching all their crosses.
Yeah, Kismet has now been seen. Keep your eye to see what Insight wants to do. Number 3 in purple. He has the opportunity to possibly play for a flank, and Scrap is going to get forward and try to challenge the A site, but the rotation is underway. At least it was for a moment. Quick reposition. Scrap does get isolated. Insight now, last one left and nowhere to go. Wow, that was a cheeky bit of move around the map for New York. Looked like they had to hard commit from the front. Instead, they find a way to wrap back in through mid.
That's just subliners making those mid-game adjustments. You take your time in the 3v3. You realize that your bomb carrier is Kismet. You don't want to die with that in your hands. But the way that Ultra were playing on that defensive setup was just way too safe.
Agreed.
It's like they were trying to shut down B. No, only one person in a position to at least contest over towards A, but Scrap must have got word that someone is behind you, so he gets some bad time in the drop early, and then the subliners take advantage.
It almost feels like Toronto's playing way reactive compared to what we've seen so far in the weekend. There's not a lot of that early initiation, that quick tempo that we've often seen from them. Maybe some of that is due to the fact that, again, this has not been necessarily a great map for them, at least as of recent. Clean shots from Scrap. Somehow Skies is still alive. Somehow Sib is still alive. I mean, that is about as good as it gets from Scrap, but instead it's New York for first blood.
Sib finds that first kill onto Insight. Now in the man advantage, you have CleanX trying to make a play through red. He is going to get sniffed out by Hydra, 2v4.
Yeah.
Envoy and Scrap have to clutch.
Yeah, that kill, Scrap knows that he really cannot put himself in a position to play off of a post plant, so they have to instead search for eliminations. Wow, what a map from Skies, 10-1. I mean, he is legitimately doing it all himself, whether it's through walls or just straight up. Couple of shots over towards Scrap. Envoy maybe thinking about trying to force this engagement or get an extra step forward. I mean, they need to find kills. That's the biggest part about this.
Yeah, but the more time that they are wasting, the more ground the subliners are taking away from them. So you already have top AC control. Envoy trying to be the playmaker to work his way through bottom fountain. And at the same time, Scrap falls 1v4. Renetti good enough for the first kill, but not the second. Subliner secure another round, now at game point. But if you're Scrap, you're sitting there like, am I shooting marshmallows?
Yo.
Those are great shots on Skies and Sib to not lead to a first blood.
That is absolutely baffling. This has just been a very calm search for New York.
I know.
I mean, legitimately outside of Kismet getting out-pressured over towards the A side of the map once or twice, everything else has gone according to plan.
Because usually when you watch subliners in their search and destroy, it's Kismet and Hydra just running around together. Right now, they look to seem that their game plan is just to split up, be a nuisance, play your corners, secure those one-on-one gunfights. And now that has lead to them being at game point. Already Hydra trying to be the island player, making plays over towards red, but they're showing presence over towards Coop.
Now this is about trying to get the information to see what this main defense has. And another one. Sid just pops up, finds the first Envoy though, does get up the ladder, so a chance for the immediate response. 3v3, Hydra's route could be countered by Scrap doing essentially the same thing on the other side of the map. It's just down to who sees who first, and Kismet's patience pans out. Now it's just down to trying to find the full rotation back over to Hydra for what would surely be a plant unless Envoy can find some sort of creation of space through mid.
Yeah, Envoy 1v3. Try to keep his team alive in this search and destroy. Bomb being planted over towards A. It's gonna take him about 10 seconds before he can even get into the play. But this is not gonna be easy.
In fact, it's gonna be very, very difficult. First up would be likely Kismet, and he may not need much help. Envoy, yeah, tags down low. And that is just, wow. I mean, there's this air of calm in the arena right now. And I think a lot of that is just starting from New York. That was about as precise and clinical as we've seen from them all weekend long.
That was just super clean from start to finish, man. The fact that they closed that out in a 6-2 fashion, losing that battle in the first blood, but every time one of them got picked off, they were instantly able to make it a 3v3. So that column was completely washed away. But just the plays that the subliners were able to make, man. You saw it in map number 1, being too aggressive in certain moments. And that search and destroy, it was patience was the key, man.
Yep.
You get early shots, you dominate over towards that B site, you force around Ultra every single time to work that objective over towards A. That's not going to really lead to a lot of success. So the subliners get it done, and now puts them historically 4-1 versus New York in S&D.
And Skies will see his search and destroy KD go through the roof with the 10.0 there. 1,700 damage, more new wallbang spots for those of you that are about to go grinding through the offseason. And for Toronto, their first search and destroy loss on the weekend, and it comes to the hand of a very swift one. So that levels the playing field. Highrise Control, both teams, like we've said a couple of different times, love this map, just have not played it against one another, so now it's just out who plays it better.
Yeah, this one is going to be a banger. Keep in mind that these squads, when they match up, they never go to a game 5.
Love that, especially with the Vista Hardpoint, lingering for map number 4. We're finishing off Saturday on a strong high note to see who joins Optic in the grand finals. We've got map number 3 coming up on the backside of the break.
Call of Duty League Championship Weekend is brought to you by Razer, the official headset and chair of Optic Texas.
Upgrade your game with a SCUF, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
SCUF and Optic have teamed up once again, this time for a limited edition Prism Mystery Box with an exclusive design in 5 different colors. Grab yours today at scuffgaming.com/optic-prism, and you could be one of the lucky few to unbox the gold controller.
Over at the Monster Energy booth, I have found a wild TP. Teep, so nice of you to join us here at Champs. Have you been keeping up with the season so far?
Oh, absolutely. I watch all the majors. I try and keep up as much as I can. Great to see you here, obviously, and meeting everybody here. It's just Champs. I just love it so much. It's great to be here.
Always a pleasure having a legend like you here. I've got to say the stage is stunning. What do you make of the 360 in-your-face pop-off potential stage?
I mean, watching some of the reactions after, players talking some shit, I love it so much. I hope the stage stays like this and just everyone facing each other. I feel like it just adds to the action. Everyone loves it.
It's been a really back and forth season, and I feel like some of our top 4, they are not performing their very best here at Champs, and others are really kind of surprising people. Who do you think has the best shot right now? Is that putting you on the spot?
Oh, man, I got to go with the Optic boys. I wasn't sure what they were going to look like coming into this one because they were looking shaky, but they were able to put it together. I think that team is going to look really good in the clutch situations, but they go against New York. I think they can do it, but got to push for the green wall.
Now, Teep, last question. You're one of the best Warzone content creators out there. Talk to me about the end of Warzone this season. What has it been like being back playing the competition as well that Warzone has been having?
Yeah, we've seen everything pick up competition-wise for Warzone. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Been doing some watch parties and keeping up with, leading into World Series of Warzone. So being able to participate here with the multiplayer side and then also the Warzone side, it's just a blessing. We love Call of Duty. It's cool bringing everyone here, and we're just blessed to do this. So,
Teep, it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of Champs.
Thank you.
1-1 the count in the lower finals. Toronto Ultra and New York Subliners retaking the stage with the Highrise Control in front of us. And Jay, look, if you're a fan of just good search and destroy, you were treated in that last match. It's not the same kind of pop-off energy we've had in the past. That's just clean, calm control coming out of this New York Subliner stage.
Yeah, that S&D was unbelievable because you're expecting a couple pop-off moments, someone to have a big play, 2-piece or 3-piece there. But it was very calm, cool, and collected. Yeah. It was just methodical out of the Subliners to tie the series up. But we had the chance to look at the numbers going into this map number 3. We thought it was going to be a square up because both the squads haven't played it against each other all season long. When we went back and looked at the numbers, Ultra are on a 9-game winning streak on Highrise Control. They prepared all throughout Major 4, and it's been playing a big part.
And on the other side, even though the overall record has been good for New York on this map, a lot of that came at the beginning of the year. Recently, their defense has really opened up a lot of holes that need filling, and they need to fill it quickly because, like you said, Toronto have been on a hot streak, and a lot of it getting done by quick kill potential. So the ask has been at least thrown out into the gauntlet, which is this center stage arena. And it's now time to figure out if Ultra can continue that big winning streak they've been put together, or can Kismet and the rest of the New York Subliners find a way to take the edge with a bounce back here on the Highrise.
Yeah, you need 99 Kismet to get activated here on the Control. Because we casted a couple of Toronto's High-Rises, and every single time it's been the same exact story. Kleenex is so damn hard to keep track of. So that battle between both of those playmakers is going to play a big part, but already off the rip, Subliners are going to be on an attack where they usually find a lot of success in those segments, but Ultra have gotten a lot better on their defense.
Without question, and a lot of it has been by dominating this B lane. AR is not often let anyone flip through, but I say that, and New York do find at least some early access into the B zone. Big battle back here, though, from Toronto and Envoy, coming away with a couple. Sky's too many targets to shoot at, and with that insight cleans things up. It's a 4-for-1 exchange.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing you can do is go 4 dead, because now you're trying to work out of your spawn. You're able to at least find 2, but still the map control in favor of Ultra. As the Subliners are rallying the troops to try to push out towards B Street. Insight is getting isolated. Can he at least find one? Thankfully, Sid with the team kill still gives him an opportunity.
And here's what you're talking about. Kleenex around the back. Good for the first snap up towards Sib, and just takes care of it before Sib can hit the dirt. So now 25 plays 20. 45 seconds on the clock, and New York are working very desperately to get out of their spawn. Good kills from Skies, though, does create an opportunity for them to maybe see the A zone.
Oh yeah, Skies is able to find 3, so they already gained the info onto Insight. Hydra's just going to send it for that kill. You're showing presence at A, you're also showing presence at B. This is going to force Toronto Ultra's defensive look to be scattered.
Indeed the case. Scrap makes things a little bit more alleviated over towards the B zone. Envoy does the same over towards A. So still empty from a first take of progress, and Scrap follows up, making sure Kismet stays off the zone. 30 seconds to go. Opportunity for New York to move through the B zone. Did Insight scout this out? Sure seems to have. Information gets transmitted, but New York still able to firmly get onto the B zone for their first take.
Yeah, first segment comes in. So 25 seconds left. Ultra are not going to get this one up for free. Envoy tries to strike from a different angle. He falls inside over the top rope, was able to find one, but better effective trades coming in from the subliners. Hydra with that double is going to allow them to earn the second segment.
And even though there's no kills from Kismet, the damage is incredible. Keeps Toronto way back, and Hydra will follow up now on 4 in a row and getting aggressive. There's kill number 5. Maybe a cruise missile here, as New York have gone from being down 8 lives to up by 4, and a quick transition already underfoot towards A. First stick gets locked.
First stick is in, but Hydra's just trying to play for 1 kill so he can earn himself that cruise missile going forward. Finessing with his life, had a slow start in that first respawn, but an 8-2 start is exactly how you want to be. He's able to earn that cruise before falling, and now there's only 5 lives remaining for Ultra.
And Kismet gets the trade. He can just win this round right here just by staying alive and not getting naded. Does he stay alive long enough? Sure does. And New York, after nearly being completely zeroed out on the opening push towards B, find all 6 ticks worth of capture.
That's beautiful right there out of the subliners, especially with no trophies to find the success that they did. Just if you're Ultra, a couple team kills. That was that situation where Hydra was able to push up into the spawn. Even though he wasn't able to get a kill, the rest of the subliners are already out of their base. The stack goes in at B. Hydra then comes off spawn and pops a 4-piece right up the middle of the map. And Ultra just simply could not work out of their spawn.
That was a 9-kill offense for Hydra, 8 of those non-traded, plus of course the cruise missile. Lots of greatness for New York to get them kicked off. And the bar has been set as high as it possibly could be for Toronto to come out of spawn and try to match.
Now, if you are Ultra, you want to try to at least walk away with this attacking round or make it up in those segments as close as you possibly can. Envoy is able to strike for the first, and right now Ultra have a lot of map control to go with all these kills that they are finding in the B. They get the last farthest player pushed up in skies. Now the stack is in at B.
Yeah, lots of showing pressure at A, but instead hitting routes to get some good control around the B zone. Route from Hydra around the outside, and whoa, nearly able to take down maybe 2. Kleenex puts him in his place, and with that, the second tick of progress has been earned for Toronto. 3rd on the way, double stack is here. Sib seen on the cross, but there's no way New York really have a chance to contest this.
Yeah,
and now the kills lead them to maybe get to A.
Yeah, this is scary now because this is probably a situation where you're gonna be forced to use that cruise missile a little bit earlier than you wanted to. As time does get extended, Toronto up by 7 lives. You have Insight watching this cross on the backside of the HUD. He's able to find the first, put shots into Kismet for the second. Now you just got to try to play your life because your teammates got your help.
And it's moments like this that you reflect back on how have Toronto found themselves a 9-game winning streak on this map mode combo. It's by getting players like Kleenex and Insight up close and personal and allow the rest of the team on the backside to just do the dirty work on the zone itself. Scrap on 4, somehow still alive. Pistols are out. Sib gets completely crossed up. Trophy system replaced, and that's the first hit gone at A.
First stick's gone at A, and now Hydra at least trying to contest from that B point. Every single player from Toronto Ultra are watching right in front of him, and that's a clean 4 dead. They said Sublime just took one quick, but we're going to do it even better.
Wow.
Ultra tied up in seconds and tied up in the game.
What a 12-life gap there at the end. 22-10 were the final lives. I mean, that is impressive to say the least for Toronto. And this is the reason that teams often veto this map against these guys, is that they're so darn efficient at the kill feed.
If you're out the subliners, you just have to take a little bit more map control, not relying really on these flanks. Just dominating those power positions with those ARs and not all dropping at the same time. Because now, all tied up at 1. Ultra are going to be in the lead by, I think, about 6 kills so far in the slaying department. Can New York have another successful attack?
Yeah, definitely need to keep an eye on Envoy here. MCW off spawn on 4 in a row. Looking to counteract the New York subliners' cruise missile that they earned in their first offense. Kismet seen down low. Kleenex in a little bit of trouble. Just goes up and over, but Kismet shuts him down. First 2 kills, good for New York. Envoy also dealt with, and now New York are punishing Toronto in their spawn.
And look at Hydra. He's just playing for the couple spawn kills. The stacks on both points. Hydra eventually is going to fall. You have 1 segment being earned at A, slowly but surely working on that progression over towards B. The first one comes in, but the nades attacks good enough to get him off that point.
Yeah, clock will continue to tick just a moment. Like you mentioned, just the 1 tick of progress locked in for now. Hydra nearly able to find the double, but Kleenex keeps helicopter control in favor of Toronto. Skies back in towards the B zone. First tick near to be completed, but doesn't really have the same kind of space and support that he needs to stay on the zone, so he's kind of got to do it himself, and so far so good for it. Kismet through mid-map. Ooh, tough, able to not really lock down Kleenex in the middle of the map, and how about the follow-up? Kleenex turns that to a double, and Toronto cleared the zone.
And that was a 2v4 right there out of the SMGs on the side of Ultra. They shut it down over towards B Street, and now Kleenex on 5 in a row is hitting that go play, cannot earn himself the cruise missile, but with only 25 seconds left, you gotta try to do something in the objective if you're New York.
Crazy to think that at one point New York were on both zones comfortably at the same time, and they only have one tick of progress to show for it. Life lead also growing for Toronto. Final couple of moments here, 12 seconds to fight for it. New York are nowhere near either of these two zones. Kismet may be able to get up on the ladder, but that's not able to stop the clock for long enough. Desperate hit over towards A. Sky's not able to find insight through the stairs, and now an opportunity for another cruise missile to potentially get earned as the clock comes to a pause, and only for a brief moment does it. Last player left is Sib, and he's dealt with by Scrap. A clean defense for Toronto.
Inset earns himself that cruise missile going forward. You only allow one segment to get away from you, so that's in the back of your mind. We have to make up for it. Both teams at least showed a little bit of success on the attack, but on a map like Highrise, you are preferring that defensive side, especially when you can play like that. Ultra just dominating over towards B Street. Subliners gave themselves an opportunity, but just not finding those kills on Kleenex and Envoy shut it all down.
Too greedy to go for both zones, you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because like the way that Ultra are playing, because everybody coming off spawn, they're throwing all their attacks, investing over towards A. We had no players over there on that side of the map with the trophy system. So when they find those initial 2 kills, they just bombard their way into B.
Well, you can see what Ultra would have to do here on this offense just to guarantee them a potential round 5 defensive half favor. Scrap getting to work over towards blue. Toronto taking their time here, looking to see where exactly this New York defense is trying to set up, but now that the kills are here, Toronto can get onto the B zone.
Right now, New York are playing really scared. They're just playing super safe towards the backside of the street. That's already 3 dead in the feed. The double stack make it a triple on this B point, and at the same time, you have one player roaming over towards A. Time to invest that cruise missile. What can it find?
The cruise is going to get spent to go over towards the B zone, but 2 players stay alive inside the elevators, and now they're immediately right back over towards the zone. Insight continuing the stretch now on to 9, and the extra 60 gets added. 2:10 on the clock, 4 life lead, and Toronto continue to put the pressure forward.
Oh, and Insight is going to fall. Streak does get shut down, and a majority of those kills go in favor of the subliner, so they're trying to take the map control right on back. You need this to be an opportunity where you can put them in this trap, potentially earn yourself a couple cruise missiles, because you're guaranteed offense in round 5 when you get there.
Scratch, a little bit of a dance with the devil, which is Hydra at range. Clean shots on the response. But still, look at New York. They're really forcing the issue here. Over towards front side green tarps. And with that, a huge opening has started to be created over towards the previously captured B zone. Envoy, the one on the pursuit of hitting that route, and he's found a kill onto Hydra.
And now you're going to force the players from the subliner to try to locate where he went. Thankfully, Sib is able to get that timing. At the same time, find a double. That's 3 dead, trying to make it 4. You gain the info onto Kleenex, but all the map control is even better.
Careful, 3 straight kills here now all of a sudden for Toronto. Sib just trying to watch the cross. Decent shots, but he's taken off. So now all of a sudden a 14v13. Still plenty of time on the clock. Kismet on for the contest as Toronto starts to really get this threat underway over towards the A zone. Scrap in a little bit of trouble. Or is he? The pistol finds the second. 1v1 over the top of the zone. Kismet dealt with by Kleenex at range. Here we go.
And this is if you're inside, you invest that cruise missile to just keep them in the back of their spawn. You have the double stack going. Here comes the cruise. This might be it.
3rd tick of progress on the way, but the nades, they do land. So New York get bailed out of what looks to be a 3-1 control tally. Gives them a fighting chance. 9v7, still 55 seconds on the clock, and routes are starting to be hit.
I don't know if that cruise missile was invested out of inside.
Looks like it was.
Falls. He's not able to control it, so big kill coming in from the subliners. You cannot afford to trade in this scenario. Ultra up by 1 life with 40 seconds left. Sib again clutching up on that B Street.
Hydra up top, a dangerous spot to allow him to stay. Sib down low. Has he been seen? Sure, seems that way. And oh, almost snaps on the Scrap, but not able to provide the kill needed. 6v5, 25 seconds on the clock. Kismet in trouble, dealt with. Now a 6v4 with Envoy in your spawn. No respawns remain here now for New York. Can they use the clock to their advantage? 2v6 situation, but there's just not any space to take the fight over towards the A zone. Kismet will drop, and Toronto continue their high-rise success. That's now, I believe, 10 in a row.
And And if they're going to play the map like that, usually find a lot more success on the defensive side. But that's 2 attacking rounds that they were able to take. If you are the sublines, you saw before the map start, they have been struggling on the defensive side, and it's due to the fact that they haven't really played it a lot as of recent. The strategies are just simply not there. You're going 3 to 4 dead at the same exact time, and then you're just giving up all the map control in favor of Ultra, and they took full advantage of it every single time.
Yeah, I mean, you really get an instance of that right there near the end. New York get a couple of clean kills. We're down to like a 10v12 situation. Hydra's up top on helicopter. You've got other members, I think it's Sib who's top propane. Everyone pushes up to that front line, but then you all lose your ones, and all of a sudden, you're done. There's just no way you get back.
And that's what you can't do if you are New York, because in those moments, you know Ultra, they're going to be setting up for routes. They're trying to find an opening around the map, and when you're gifting it in a free one-on-one gunfight, it's a 50-50 chance. Ultra had the numbers advantage. They were up in the lives remaining. Even with Sid dominating over towards the B Street, it was just better positioning, better plays coming in from Ultra in those final moments to close out that control.
Important to note there, you kind of saw the scoreboard for a moment after the dominant search and destroy. Skies only puts up 9, goes 9 and 19, and that I think is another exhibit of what we're talking about. New York just cannot get themselves set up. You're running a 3AR setup here where Hydra doesn't have the same mobility that we're used to seeing. He's not creating the same kind of space that we're seeing out of Toronto. And Skies is almost looking around saying, where do I go? What do we have to look at here? Because we've got 3ARs essentially watching everything.
Yeah, that's tough, man. The only time I feel like Skies had a moment is when he was coming off the respawn on the attack and he popped 3 in the back of his spawn. Other than that, Skies wasn't really having a good time, and that's due to the fact that Ultra majority of the map had the map control to go with it. We're talking about gunfights through top heli, gunfights in towards that B site, and even top propane. They're very difficult when you're that player coming off the respawn. You might have a head glitch, but there's the shot and the preparation, knowing where they are coming from. Ultra were just ready every single time.
And it's one of those things you kind of see it there from Insight, where from the offensive side, hey, look at us, we're over towards B alley, we get a kill, and then all of a sudden they're gone. They're not there anymore. So it just keeps pulling this New York defense to a spot where they just don't feel comfortable, and then all of a sudden you've got someone else in your back line from the other side of the map. Toronto was just so difficult to deal with on that map. But the better news starts to kind of prop up here for New York. Vista Hardpoint, a map that they've played a couple of times versus this Toronto team. And, you know, recently this has been a strong suit Hardpoint for them.
They just haven't played it in this event yet. So
good point.
You could be really good at the map, but, you know, COD could be so day-to-day. If you have a bread and butter map, you haven't played it, sometimes the strategies can look completely different. And right now, full momentum on the side of Toronto Ultra. We did have the ability to cast them the last time, at least online, not at Major 4. It was an 100-point comeback from Ultra. So if you are New York, you just got to keep your foot on the gas. Keep the fundamentals in the back of your mind.
And I think the thing about this is not a map that you look just at Hydra to be in takeover mode. Some of the maps, it does feel that way. Rio has been that way for them. But this map, I got my eyes on Sib, because when this New York team was really struggling, a lot of focus went to Sib. And I remember the first time they had played this map on Vista, I remember watching that guy and he's like, okay, this is the Sib we're used to seeing. He's getting active, he's getting fast with the AR, putting himself in some tricky spots that are difficult to deal with on rotation. That has to be a key to success here for New York if you want to see a 5th map.
And he also shoots insanely straight.
That helps, yeah.
He's going to put himself in all those power positions with that AR to try to find a couple success off these rotations. But you said Sib, I'm looking at Skies, man. This is a guy who keeps this team composed in those moments. Even in the series versus Optic, when they lost, he's sitting there, don't worry about it, guys, it's just one map. We have to continue to go forward. He has a good mindset. You just got to put it together here.
The big thing about this is now we're a map away from Toronto finding their revenge from last year's Giga run. I mean, it was the fastest grand finals I think we've ever seen. A complete blowout, especially the Hydra Hardpoint to start. So Toronto, there is some on the line here in terms of getting your revenge, having the last word on the season. New York trying to find a way to repeat for what would have been the first time in a long time we've had a team be that dominant when it comes to the end of a year.
Yeah, you can't be thinking about that right now if you're Ultra, though.
Yeah,
you don't want to bring up some bad history, because you know that New York, a very composed roster. Even with the roster change coming in, they are still never, ever out of the fight. Just a map 4 stands in front of them. We know how mixy Vista can get. I know we talked about the ARs, but the SMGs are going to play such a big role, because we know how much of a nuisance they can be, hitting that outer wall run, sitting in certain corners, just putting yourself in position to find success. New York, with their backs against the wall, need this map number 4 to try to go all the way.
Just got to go to what you've already found a lot of success with on this current weekend, which is zone out Ultra from having chances to put together these setups. Here we go. Map 1 scrap was everywhere. 1.26 KD. He was in the hill, also found nearly 5K damage. And that was a big reason that Hydra got shut down as fast as he was. Thing about it is, this is a totally different ballgame comparing Karachi to Vista. Lots more space for Hydra to work with. Let's see if they could use that to get New York into that 5th map.
And it's New York on the preferred side. Snade's going over the top. Sip finds the first, Skies immediately forward the second. Perfect start if you are the subliners, but effective trades around that middle map area still going to give Ultra opportunities because there's only one person in the hill.
And Kleenex, he wants the 1v1, tries to predict it, and he does find Skies nicely. Hardpoint goes open for a moment. Reinforcements from both sides, able to get back in for the contest quickly. Envoy knows he's got Hydra nearby, and Hydra's not going to lose that gunfight. Scrap also tagged, could not further this contest, so New York will jump in for a little bit of time.
Yeah, with only 20 seconds left, if you are Ultra, you want to fight this one all the way to the very end because you want that mid-map control going over towards that B2. They find 3 in the feed, successful on the trade onto Skies. With only 3 shots left, you get some assistance out of Insight. It's going to be Ultra with a small lead going into the next hill.
Big win from Kleenex. That wins the middle of the map over for Ultra, and then Kismet trying to play forward through the new hardpoint. Dealt with. Insight on 4 in a row. Somehow still alive. Help was there, but not enough as Hydra will get the double. And for at least now, the subliners are in the hardpoint, but there are members to deal with in the middle of the map in New York. Do so swiftly. A nice moment here for the subline.
Yeah, it was a 2v1 off that rotation, and somehow Hydra's able to walk away with both and stay alive. So now subliners win that rotation over towards P2. It's going to be very difficult for Ultra to try to attack this from the front. You want to go to the middle of the map. 3 kills go in their favor. Now here goes the break opportunity.
Yeah, Sky's just trying to create a buffer with New York spawning so far away. A chance for them to still fly forward, but Hydra does that without any cover or even a duo to jump in with them. So once again, another moment you kind of look at and say, ooh, were we really worth that gunfight? Toronto able to get this thing back to around level terms, and now the focus is on the fight for rotation towards New.
Kismet is going to drop off that rotation. Hopefully he's still blessed with the back spawn. Thankfully, just that comes in for him. Scrap and Envoy able to find a couple kills. Envoy on 5 in a row, make it 6. Cruise missile earned. The world champ has come to play.
How big has Envoy been for Toronto in the respawns this weekend? He has been super consistent, which is what the community has been asking for. Can he provide that when it matters most? So far, he has. New York still surrounding the 3rd hardpoint. Threat underway from both the backside of these favorite spawns, plus also from the front. But New York holding off pretty decently to the moment. A couple of trades are in, but New York will still at least hold the hardpoint. But with this, now they start to spawn out way deep.
Yeah, it's a 4v2 now. Here at P3, Skies is able to at least still find a couple kills. Trying to contest as long as he can for his teammates to eventually try to help, but leads to an Ultra break for now. Hydra through the front side is able to put down a couple shots, sets up Kismet for that kill, who is on 2 in a row. But Ultra, this is exactly the situation you want to be in.
Yeah, and now it's just down to Kismet. Okay, he's done well through that little mid staircase. Allows New York to get really the majority of the time here on the 3rd hardpoint, but it's not enough to reflip the spawns back around. So as we take a tally of the minimap, Toronto find themselves in the favorable spot over the top of the 4th hardpoint, but that is being worked on now for New York around the back and also splitting from the front. A natural pitch starting to occur.
Oh yeah, and Envoy's going to give up that angle, but he's going to come back to pick it up. Sky, teammate, unfortunately does take down Hydra. Kismet affected though from the front. Is able to find the double. He had a 2-7 start. Instantly turned it on up at 7 and 9. You still have Ultra with the spawns, with the kills, holding on to the hard point.
I was about to say, neither of these 2 teams could really lock down more than maybe 1 player spawning up favorably until that moment from Scrap gets Toronto into the driving seat. Couple of kills from New York on the back though, putting pressure on the hard point. Hydra looking for his time and space, but not going to be allowed. Envoy with the shutdown. Kismet, a couple of tags through the wall, and he's looking for the kill, but it eludes him for now. Ultra looking for the majority of the scrap time, and they will get it with kills over towards New.
Oh, and this is a scary moment in this game. You got to keep in mind that Toronto still have a cruise missile in the back pocket. Fight for that remaining junk time. You almost find yourself up by 20, but you win the rotation over towards New. Scrap playing safe, 17 and 6 start, make it 17 and 7. That young man is just unbelievable with that AR in hand.
And Envoy right there to fill the gap. This is just a perfect setup in every form here for Toronto. New York trying to find something on the overextension. Kismet provides. Civ also following up. Leaves Scrap by himself on low HP. Just fighting for his life. Nothing he can do from there in New York. A very clean break.
They needed this break too, because we know how effective this P5 to P1 chain can be, especially when you have Ultra in the trap spawn that you want. But Hydra, he's going to put himself on a route. Hopefully he's not going to flip that for his teammates. No, he's able to find the double, put himself back into the play. So 20 seconds to fight for.
Envoy, ooh, almost finds the slide right over towards Sib's direction, but shut down. Insight also meets the same fate. Sim has done well from this position. Sky's tagged over on top of the catwalk. Scrap really not able to force the gunfight though until finally a kill comes out, and Kleenex will eventually take care of Sim on the backside stairs. But Kismet again walks up with a double. That keeps the hard point relatively open, and now we finally get over back to the first hill.
Now if you're our Envoy, the only player in towards this P1. He's trying to make the plays happen. He's able to find the first kill. At the same time, Scrap finds the second. The hill is currently going to be white. It's an all-out battle for this mid-map control, and New York are winning it.
Important battle still to come though, as Toronto's nades start to find some value. Kleenex up and over towards the backside of the desk. Takes care of another. Now Toronto have the numbers. New York trying to make sure they don't lose sight of the P2 rotation. Still 30 seconds to fight for though. Oh, Kismet! He thought he had the perfect timing, but Kleenex with the snap. I'm sure a couple of team shots were in, but Kleenex keeps his life. Turns that into a second. Spamming down the third, not quite. Forces Envoy to take the gunfight and not gonna beat Skies. New York get the flip.
Big 15 seconds to fight for it. There's only one player left in towards the hard point. Now you have a little assistance coming in from Hydra. The nade is good. The Rival 9 is even better. Not able to find that final kill onto Envoy, but you're going to put yourself in a position to win the rotation over towards New. But the route out of Envoy may cause mayhem.
Absolutely the case. Kismet does win his first from the front side of the hill. Hydra up top. Make sure that New York can get the surrounding presence that they want. And then Sib deals with the long route from Envoy. Now the bump forward. Kismet finding value there as well, and a chance for New York to have one of their best moments of the game so far.
Yeah, subliners are pushing them so damn far away, and now you are forcing Envoy to invest this cruise missile. You don't want to give up all this time here at P2, but you're going to be slow with this. You can give all the pops to your teammates. You don't even find the player on hill. That blast radius did get an update, so Kismet is going to fall at top mid, but you have the numbers, you got the gunny, you find the break.
Yeah, absolutely the case. 20 seconds to battle for Hydra. Through topside mid, allows Kismet a chance to just focus purely on the front, and he nearly takes down both, but Scrap will have the last word. Follow-up from Sim. Goodness, he has been so quick to confirm trades for his squad, and that keeps us at a deadlock tie as we rotate over to New. New York going to be there first.
And Ultra going to have quite some time before they even get close towards this new hard point. The way they attacked it last time was to push their way around Burger, contest towards the back end and flip these spawns. That led to a break. They're going to try to do it again, but this time Sublines have two players watching these angles.
Just down to, do they know the full force of Toronto sitting from the front end? Well, Kismet again on the staircase, he has been immovable. Sky's following up. That's a clean wipe with the exception of just one. Insight keeps his life from the front. Scrap trying to work his way through mid. Hydra meets him there, and whoa, around the back. Insight tried to make a play, doesn't work out, and New York really locking things down here at the bar.
That's been 30 uncontested seconds so far from the subliners. They've made the adjustments to hold down that overextension, not allow Ultra to set up these pinches, put all their focus towards the front side, and now with the final 15 and all the kills being yellow in the feed. You're still in control of those spawns for the next hill. Sip on 5 in a row. You just got to run. Play your life, but he's able to find a cruise missile word.
And now you've got, again, New York in a position of full control. Although these exit kills from Toronto may move the spawns around, and they do before the new hard point opens, and then Kismet loses his life over towards the hill itself. So just when you thought New York was about to stretch 3 to 4, Toronto will spawn in, and Sib has to call the cruise.
Oh, the cruise missile is going to get invested, but the only person in a position to potentially flip these spawns out is going to be Skies. He is going to fall, so Ultra are instantly going to put themselves in position to get right back into this play, but they are not finding the kills. Now both players dropping. They're going to spawn all the way across the map. New York just got to hold.
Kismet just being a nuisance around the back. Hard to track down as New York from the front find the kills they need. Now the lockdown starts to become the next question, as Ultra really just have to try to force this from the front. Insight is deep on the long route, but there just really are not a lot of kills here to supply any sort of a break attempt. So it's going to be over 200 points for New York. A chance to possibly get this thing close to closed out on the new hill.
You are the subliners. You are in the drive. He kills off the rotation. Kismet and Skies combined for 2. Insight just shooting, trying to locate where the hell Skies went. But now eventually he peeks and he's able to find that kill. So it's still going to be a battle for this rotation. Ultra going to be the team early on, but look at the pitch coming in from Sid.
He's able to get one. Quick rotation coming through as Kleenex off the reload. Good help from Scrap. Oh, big moment here from Ultra. Kismet really cannot make much of a play at the moment as Toronto have the lockdown. Now it's just down to figuring out where New York are as we jump into an Ultra listening.
Their door.
Watch out.
Our door now.
Their door.
Their rails got me. Take our target. I'm gonna go red. Somebody's down.
Yeah, that's Chow now, I think.
They got Chow rails.
Yeah, what? Yeah, short. Close left short.
Alright, it's not short.
Zip. I'm hit.
Zip.
Nice.
Nice.
Low stick on me.
He's not. He's just looking for you.
Pillar, Tommy.
He's on P3, in P3.
Table dead.
Let's get time.
I'm playing this.
Spawns. Be up this fast. Maybe it's shops.
Just change these two.
Shops, dead.
Nice, I'm picking
Rocks,
right
maybe.
now.
No, low rocks, low time. Low right, caution. Low time, one shot. In the corner, right corner.
Chop. Nothing's going right. What's he made P2 actually? Okay, he's going mid-step.
He's fucking weak.
Just have safety.
Take her out. Try and go right here.
I'm already burger.
I have to play this a little
He's low
quick.
P2 at me. Don't go, dead.
Top edge weak, Sip.
I'm going.
Come out.
Well, you heard it there for a moment. Ultra saying, let's play slow, let's play clinical. Not a lot of time to do that anymore. New York just continued to foil the plans of Ultra left, right, and center.
It has to be picture perfect from this point on if you are Ultra. You're already in control of this P1, but the routes being hit right now out of Hydra may cause it an issue. As with Sid finding that double, make it 3 in a row. Last player on the point leads to all 4 dead. Spawns all the way across the map. It's looking like we're going game 5.
About to be a blender right here at the front door. If Ultra trying to hit through it, Sky's holding down the trigger, damages in, and there it is. New York do what needs to be done. They clean up the Vista Hardpoint, and even though there were some mixy moments in there, flat out, they were not allowing Toronto to get the setups they wanted.
And it was the adjustments on the second half of that game, because you realize if you are New York, we had the spawns for P3 and P4 a majority of the map. But the first time it was Ultra pushing out that backside, flipping us all the way to the opposing side, and then forcing those next 2 hills to be mixy. But right off the rotation, you dominated over towards Burger. Every single kill was getting tallied right through that front side, and Ultra were just going one by one in those final moments, just could not find success in a team push, because the way that subline was just able to pick them apart time and time again. That's been their bread and butter hard point. They get it done. Now we go game 5.
And really, you know, you go back and if you were to watch that map on 2 times speed and just watch the minimap, there really weren't many moments where the preferred spawns were held by one team. It was just, oh, we're spawning out. Wait a second, now they're spawning out. And that little bit of chaos and that mixiness better adjusted to by the New York subliners. I think especially as we went from 4 to 5 a couple of different times in that map.
That's just good plays out of New York too, man, because you got to think back against the wall. You got to play some of your best Call of Duty. Everyone had a performance. Hydra starts it off. Sib earns himself that cruise missile around the middle of the map. Skies also steps up tremendously by finessing, especially around that P5. And then, you know, Kismet is going to give you a 2-piece here and there, but none of that even matters anymore. It's one map to decide who's going to get the last dance with Optic tomorrow.
Unreal stuff, man. And that map will be an invasion, search, and destroy. New York, I'm sure, love to see it, but... and it is a big but, and I cannot lie. We just recently saw this, and it didn't quite go their way. So lots of interesting things to set up here, Jay. I mean, what are you looking for just kind of as a quick teaser for this map 5?
Well, we saw it for the subliners versus Optic. They got outslayed tremendously in that first blood column. You need your SMG to be the playmakers and find success at that.
All right, well, that's the setup as we go. We've got one more map, Allen, Texas. Not falling asleep yet, I hope. We got lower finals to figure out who's going to make it into the Grands against Optic tomorrow. New York tried to get there for a repeat. Toronto tried to get there for 2 years in a row. We'll see. Only one could move on when we come back after the break.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Play like a pro. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Visit scuffgaming.com for all your gaming needs.
The Champs Tracer Pack is available now. The bundle includes the Reaper Operator Skin, Ripper Weapon Blueprint, Death Stare Weapon Blueprint, Cuts Deep Charm, 2 calling cards, 2 emblems, and 2 weapon stickers. Use these items in both Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Warzone. Available in-store now using Call of Duty points.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
I'm back over at the Monster Energy booth, and this time I have caught up with Sensor. Hello, sir. Welcome to Champs.
Hi, Lottie. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Better for seeing you, of course. Now, I want to ask you about, obviously, the Call of Duty Championships, first of all. Are you rooting for anyone in particular? Do you think somebody's going to be taking it? Obviously, it's day 3, so the stakes are really high right now.
Yeah, I think it's anyone's tournament to win. I'd love to see the Thieves take it, obviously, because Ghosty and Krem play on the Thieves. I'm very proud of their success and how they're doing right now. So we'd love to see them make a run. But any of these teams, they're all really good. And honestly, this is what we love to see, just great Call of Duty being played.
It is exactly what we like to see. And another thing we like to see is, of course, the trash talking, the pop-offs. Have you seen the stage with the fact that they're facing each other? There's a lot of stuff that's being said.
Yeah, it's probably like the coolest thing they've done in Call of Duty in a long time, because I think when you see the best players in the world going at it and they're just saying how they actually feel and letting it all out there, it's like the most genuine thing you could possibly imagine. So I love seeing it. I think they're about to start soon, so I'm really excited. I can't wait to watch.
I can't wait either. And of course, I don't want to keep you too long, but I have to also ask you about what you're up to these days. I know you were doing a challenge. Was it a pull-up challenge, a world record? What was the kind of thing that you were up to?
Yeah, so I retired from Call of Duty because I'm breaking the Guinness World Record for most pull-ups in 24 hours. My trainer's name is Jackson Italiano. He's been training me every day for 13 months. I've done 185,000 pull-ups in 13 months, and I'm getting ready for my attempt soon. So I'm just really enjoying the last parts of this lonely process. It's a crazy process. You'll go insane, and you'll question everything in your life, and it's tough. But you get to a point where you feel very calm and at peace. So I'm really happy with where we're at.
Amazing stuff. Well, congratulations on doing something so incredible, and good luck. And yeah, I can't wait to see if you break the record.
Thanks. It's also for a pancreatic cancer charity, so we're looking forward to raising some money for charity. So it's going to be a good day.
You're amazing, Sensor. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
Did Doug Sensberg just say he's done 185,000 pull-ups? I haven't done 185,000 anything in the last year.
That is unreal. Like, Doug, hats off to you, bro, because 185,000 pull-ups in 13 months is insane. So hopefully he's able to break the Guinness World Record in that category. But enough about Doug. We got this game 5. This is what it comes down to. One map to make it to the grand finals.
This is going to be nuts, man. And again, the history here, you know, you can label of what happened to New York in their most recent matchup. The other side of things, you've got Toronto, who hadn't lost the Search and Destroy this weekend until what happened earlier. So it's just terms and conditions are out the window right now. It's just one map, possibly 11 rounds worth of Search to figure out who makes it to Grands.
That's all it is, man. 15 to 20 minutes of gameplay to find out if you're going to be in that final dance tomorrow. First time that both of these squads match up against each other and go all the way the distance in this map number 5. Hopefully New York will be able to shake off that Lawrence versus Optic, learn from their mistakes, and come out more prepared, because if you are Toronto Ultra, you were able to handle the hell out of Atlanta FaZe on this map, because Atlanta were giving up that B site for free. If you are New York, that's got to be in the back of your mind. We cannot give up that objective.
And I think on top of that, how much of the series versus Optic is still in your mind? Because you got to shrug that away, have your quick little powwow, and then get right back to business. Because for the side of Toronto, they have been just as good as what we saw from Optic earlier. So let's see what adjustments we get here for New York. They're going to start off on the offense and quickly focus over towards this top Broken position.
Look how fast Kidman is playing over towards Broken. No smoke grenade getting invested, taking the ground away from Ultra. You can tell that map number 2 was the subliners who set the pace early on, and just looking at the mini-map, they might do it again.
Yeah, this is interesting. They're trying to catch someone on rotation, and wow, Kismet almost gets the gunny with the SMG across halfway around the map. But that smoke fake doesn't really work out. So now all of a sudden, Ultra will know that there is going to be some sort of a transition back, but Skies, a late nade or at least a car explosion, has first blood tallied for New York.
Oh, and once Skies puts himself in a position towards mid-tank, you can start to work this objective, and then you have the Island player commit on that kill. All left up to Insight in a 1v4, 4 up, 4 down. Clean round right down to the subliners.
I love that call.
Beautiful.
Just get aggressive, make sure no defenders are in broken, and then all of a sudden, here's a fake smoke. Let's see if we can catch him at mid. No one's able to hold on to that ticket, kind of courtyard tank area, and New York used that as kind of their pivot point of success in their opening round.
And this is such a crucial moment. Obviously in a game 5 to make it to a grand finals, we cannot rely on the nerves to play a big part, because it seemed that Ultra in that first round just playing a little bit too safe. Even Kleenex with an AR usually finds himself roaming around that cafe area with that rival 9, but Subliners find the first blood, and they find that first round, but this time it's Scrap with his first of his own.
Yeah, Skies is looking for kind of an off timing on that mid-cross rotation, but Toronto had all guns up, and it will be Scrap who gets credit for the first blood. And now New York just don't have any defense here at A. It's just whatever stacked up over towards this tank side, which really, they don't even have that either. It's just a little bit of DVD control right now for the subliners.
I don't know if Kismet is giving them the info that at least one player in Kleenex is trapped over on the left side of the map. Are they potentially going to try to isolate him? But no, that bomb is going to go down. But Kismet instantly here to strike. It's a 2-on-2 gunfight, effective on the trades.
Envoy self-smokes, keeps himself tucked away into a corner. Inside over the backside, and this 2v2 in, New York. Are you serious? Are you serious? Hydra, he's able to just stick it. Maybe not a full-on ninja, but give him credit for it. What a call.
And that's a 3v4 clutch up right there out of the subliners. If you are Ultra, someone has got to be paying attention to that site. It's a 2-2 effective trade around that mid-tank, but once they realize, you saw Kleenex work his way out of Water Street, you have no information on where Inside has gone. You just stick that defuse and it works out to perfection.
And Ultra sitting here thinking, smoke's dissipated, there's no way someone's just gonna run right through this A alley. Joke's on you. Hydra down 3 in a row after the Ninja comes out looking for number 4 quickly. As soon as the round starts and he finds Kleenex, and now all of a sudden New York have a new area to work with over the middle of the map. Scrap does trade back onto Kismet, and the smoke deters anything further from happening for New York, at least for a time. Even exchange. 2v2! Oh! Envoy! How has he managed to pull that off?
2 HP in a dream, he's able to find a double. Man advantage in favor of Ultra. Bomb down in towards DVD. One of the most clutch players that we have in Search and Destroy left to try to make it happen. Sees the skies bueno. Always investing in this game, but with only 40 seconds left, you got to recover that bomb. And they have all their crosses watched.
I'll have memes that never die for 400, Jay. Opportunity to rotate this thing back over towards the A side of the map, but okay. Envoy been seen. Skies pushed off from mid. Trying to rewrap. He knows he may have an isolation here. A little bit of an extra shoulder has confirmed that Envoy's still in the area. But time becoming an issue. Now Skies has to force this gunfight versus an SMG with a rifle or a pistol. Oh, he catches Envoy sleeping there for a moment. Now it's just down to can he get a plant off? He knows he's got the last player at range, and he does get across. It's going to reset.
And Inside, you got to go. You know that he's committing on this bomb plant. Are you going to get that at the right time? No. Skies with the movement with only 6 HP. He's not going to be able to get out with his life. Almost pulls off an insane clutch in this moment. But Inside realizes the time remaining. He realized the situation. You just had to sprint at that site. Finds the one-on-one. Finally put one on the board there for Ultra.
But that got really dicey.
Yeah.
And for Skies, hey, you created all that chaos. This moment here, though, for Envoy, I mean, this saves the round, legitimately. I mean, you don't have DVD control. You're able to pick up Sib. That stops the rotation back over to B. And then, of course, just the impressiveness of being able to find the second in the first place.
He had 40 HP still to his name when Hydra finishes that kill, and he only has 2. So Hydra must have hit at least 1 hip-fire gunfight, but usually do not see Paco lose those engagements. Now Ultra back on the attacking side they go. They found success early on in the first blood, but this time they're not going to really contest around that middle map. They're trying to go B.
We've seen this before from New York as well. They're putting Skies with a trophy early in towards tank, and then this little double stack just outside the front cafe windows. Looking to maybe just get some pillars control, find a way to kind of isolate Toronto on the B side of the map, but as Sid is the one playing forward at Broken initially, he doesn't really find the contact he wants, so surely this New York setup is about to change.
And if Ultra decide to hit the rotation, the information is already going to be gained from the subliners. You have the ideal setup. Going back and forth from mid-cut is Skies to assist Sid in that scenario. Time is starting to dwindle down with only 45 seconds left. Eventually, Ultra got to get a move on.
But Kismet's been seen over towards mid here, so he can no longer play off of that flank, and now the defense will move. But how do Ultra break down this defense as they need to cross over through dark if they want to approach over towards the Hydra? Oh, not the greatest timing initially, but somehow still alive. Help from Kismet is great. And now a 4v2 starts to develop right over the top of the tank. 22 seconds to play for, and Toronto have been cut off through mid. Sib up and over, no worries there for Scrap. Moment of hesitation, but not really anything to speak of here. Insight is gonna run out of time.
Another round on the board there for subliners. Just way too much map control that they took away from Ultra. It's putting 2 players in towards Cafe, watching that cross. 2B and on the way back.
Yeah.
Just didn't give themselves opportunities to even think about the objective on the opposing side. So now if you are Ultra, probably a pace change on the attack needs to be a big part.
Yeah, I like that call. See if they follow through with it at all. And who would be the one to look at? You looking at Envoy? Possibly be the one to set the tone here?
Envoy and Kleenex, because they both have the ability to do so.
All right. We'll see what happens here. As it will be Envoy making a cut through Dark and aggressively through that at that. He's going to get into DVD almost immediately. Instead, finds Kismet on the cross, but can't finish the kill. And now he's just got to smoke himself to safety, of which there is none. But Scrap does at least pick things back up, get to a 3v3 bomb down. But Hydra is up to more antics on this route.
Insight's not going to be ready for it. Hydra with the perfect play. Working his way up Water Street. He's able to find a double. Now it's Scrap left in a 1v3. 100 HP and a dream. It's good enough for the subliners to walk away with back-to-back rounds now. It's getting closer and closer to making it to that grand final.
And how pivotal is it that Kismet is essentially dead to rights, but gets around for his life, and then there's nowhere for Envoy to go. He can't get the DVD, he doesn't have help. He just self-smokes himself into a corner.
And it caught him off guard there because he was ready for that door to be cracked open.
Yeah.
But as soon as he was going for that crack peek, Kismet runs across the broken, so you have to try to commit on that gunfight. You give up your positioning. You obviously don't want to work your way in towards DVD because you have no info of how many players are playing on that side. But the pre-fire good enough. Leads to the subliners finding that first blood. Hydra again on 4 in a row.
And I was about to say 8 and 1 to start, but Semtex from Envoy, well placed. Doesn't just find the kill on the Hydra, but it also has Kismet kind of holding his ground for a moment. And does Scrap get tank control? Yeah, sure does. But great defensive nade. Displaces him and almost allows an opportunity for a little nade shot kill to come through. Sib will follow up on the damage though, and now it's a 3v2 for New York.
Inside at least effective on the trade though, instantly. Back to a 2v2. You have Envoy gaining information. I don't know if he was able to spot Kismet working his way up through tree, but the reposition, it seems like he has gotten a read on it. You find that kill, 1v2 left up to Sky.
Oh, but Sky, it's good timing here. Has insight down to a bullet. Ring around the Rosie with the tank. Regen should surely be in at this point, but the pistol win is still good. 35 seconds. Envoy making the quick call to put the clock in his favor as he hops on for the plant.
Sky's is super comfortable in these scenarios. 1v1s are what he lives for, but the same thing could be said for Envoy. 40 seconds to go. Got the Rival 9 and the MCW to work with. Right now, it seems that Sky's is just playing for early info, thinking he's going to push through the spawn.
And Envoy's going to play deep here. Dead silence at the ready, pops that immediately. MCW trusted here on this cross. This is a must-win 1v1 for Envoy. And he's second-guessing the angle for a moment. Is there timing for Skies to slip across? Very well may have been. Envoy hasn't moved yet. Skies gets the intel. First tag is decent, but he has to force the gunfight. Envoy just jumping from pillar to pillar. Not enough time for Skies to find the kill and back up. Envoy does his job.
Great plays right down to Envoy to finesse God. He's able to work that objective. Secure the round by not even shooting a bullet. Just dancing with death. And if you are Skies, if you played that scenario a little bit quicker, because he chose the 50-50. If he pushes through the spawn, great heads-up play.
Yeah.
If he goes back to their base, and you just wasted a lot of time on that retake, you didn't give yourself a lot of opportunities to clear out all that ground to try to secure that round. So Ultra, stay alive again.
Definitely felt like Skies was making the gamble that Envoy's going to play on bomb.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case. The MCW picked up, allows him that little bit of freedom. 0-6 start for Kleenex. Not often you say that, especially in a critical moment like this, but all early aggression from Ultra. Shut down this time as Hydra gets the better of Scrap, and an early 4v3 starts to develop here for New York's offense.
Now, if you are the subliners, you already had Sib in a position over towards this B site. Doesn't spot anyone on the cross. A couple guns do get fired on the backside of Cafe, so Sib should put himself in a position to take a little ground on that side, even though the cross is being watched from Envoy.
I was going to say that insight, obviously known that he's playing outside deep at the water bridge. You would have thought that New York would have said, let's go, let's play our 4v2 over towards B, but now this has taken some time, trying to clear off the corners. Envoy just looking for contact on this cross through Dark, and that will eventually force Ultra to have to make their defensive move, but he comes away with a clean kill, and there still isn't actually initiation towards this B site yet, and now all of a sudden, Insight's in the picture.
Insight's going to be able to get the info. No nades in the back pocket to try to contest it, but Sib is going to hop off the bomb. And at the same time, across the map, Hydra, the island player, finds that kill onto Envoy. Now with 20 seconds left, Sib, you got to play it.
You got to. You absolutely have to get this thing down. Joining the action is Hydra now. Smoke will allow Sib to plant. Kleenex on one side, Insight looking for the wall bang. Opportunity missed for that. 2v3 retake. The long time standing duo dating back to the Singularity days. Can they break this down? Sib in Ice Cream, first one's good. Insight trying to come through. No way, no how. Sib did both.
Subliners now just looking completely different in Search and Destroy. Just one more round is all that they need to have their rematch versus Optic Texas. But it's just early first bloods that'll lead into success for New York.
Yeah.
That was the struggle versus Optic. It's 5-2 in their tally, and that is the score.
It's just unreal how much more composed this New York team looks all of a sudden, especially on this map, let alone in the Search and Destroy at whole. A 10-2 stat line for Hydra. 3 of those are first bloods. Want him to show up in a big moment. He has. Oh, here we go.
Kleenex needs to try to figure it out here. Don't want to end your season potentially on a donut. Now Ultra on the attack is just going to be in a situation again where they are forced to waste a lot of time trying to gain information over towards B Street.
Yeah, shots from Insight push Skies off the angle, but that's a missed opportunity for a first blood. Toronto trying to just isolate on this New York setup over towards Cafe, and okay, instead they get the isolation on the Kismet off the aggressive angle. It forces Sib to have to take cover backside tractor, and there's no one else here, so he's got to at least find one.
Yeah, at least all out time for your teammates to work this pace because you know what Hydra is capable of. Finds that kill onto Insight. Skies across the map, finds a second. Now Sib left in the 1v2 on this side of the map. He finds the first 1v3.
Off the reload! Oh my goodness! One was fine. 2 was a goddamn miracle. And New York stave off the revenge tour from the Toronto Ultra, and instead find themselves knocking on the door of revenge of their own with a date with Optic tomorrow.
That's gotta feel so good if you are the Subliners. You were one map away from pushing your way through the winner's side. But then it came down to one map to make it back to that grand final. You just played this map a couple hours ago. You put yourself in a scenario where you need to understand the mistakes that you went through, and it was all about those first bloods, man. You're playing it slow on your attacking rounds, so you're forcing Toronto Ultra to change their pace up. Just not really finding success in that first blood, allowing New York to have the man advantage every single time and trade it out effectively. It's just beautifully played out of the Subliners.
Has that not been the narrative of the entire season for New York?
Yeah.
They come in as defending champions and get embarrassed double first rounded at Major 1. We go, what the hell is going on? Small steps towards recovery, moments where you think, maybe it's not enough. And then all of a sudden, Major 4, it all lights back up again. And then, of course, here at this tournament, same story for the weekend. Big run through the upper bracket, but put down by Optic. You get a chance to play another map 5 in Invasion, and wow, is it night and day difference.
And now you're feeling fantastic going into tomorrow because all the maps that you lost, you were able to perform a lot better. Obviously not on the Karachi Hardpoint, but just to have that Search and Destroy in the back of your mind is being so consistent because that's both Search and Destroys ending in a 6-2 fashion.
Yes.
They just dominated from start to finish of those, and I know historically between the teams it's been very, very tight when you talk about all the game modes, but it ends on the season between both of these squads, 5-1 in favor of New York. They walk out with that series victory. You gotta feel so damn good.
A combined 21-5 from Hydra and Sib. And if you go back and look at the scoreboard in that Optic versus Subliner Search and Destroy, Hydra was a non-factor. So he figured out what he needed to do in a big way.
But I tell you right now, New York were able to get through this series. Again, with Kismet not really having a successful series from start to finish. Especially in that game number 5. He's usually Mr. Takeover, but a 1-6